There is so many people in the building who heard the news that Taresh had passed except his family. We were the last people to find out our baby passed. Our last. And just because he was brown, he ended up on the floor, and all they did is cover him in an orange sheet like he was nothing.
Toronto police were called to save a man struggling with his mental health. So how did he end up falling to his death from his 16th floor apartment window?
It turns out Bobby had fell to the floor after slipping from the 16th floor window. There was cops on the roof. There was cops in our apartment. They ransacked our apartment. Bobby was unarmed, had no drugs on him. He had the time to tie a cable cord to escape from the SWAT team who came to our apartment with the things you bang the door in to break someone's door down. We will never understand why these weapons, tactics, or officers were necessary when we as a family did not place this call for police.
The family of 32-year-old Taresh Bobby Ramroop is mourning the loss of their son, brother, and cousin after an interaction with police ended in his death. Taresh, who struggled with his mental health, fell from the 16th floor window of his apartment in the Jane and Finch community after Toronto police were called by someone outside of the family. The family says they received conflicting information from police, and not only do they want answers, but they want the truth. Now, the police watchdog, the SIU, is investigating. So, what really happened that day? Hey, it's BG, and thanks for watching. We're gonna dive into Taresh's tragic story, but before I do, I need you to do a few things, like subscribe to this channel, tap the notification bell, hit the like button, and make sure to follow us across all of our social media. The details are in the description below. News of another person in Toronto falling to their death after having police call to assist with mental health has the city shook and demanding answers. How did this happen, and why does this keep happening? This is the family's side of the story.
His goal was to create graphic designing clothing which he could sell so he can donate to little children because he loved children growing up. Bobby worked at FedEx, and he also did Uber Eats on his feet. He never once complained. He tried to do whatever it could to make ends meet.
On the afternoon of October 13th, 2022, the mother of Taresh Bobby Ramroop received a text from her son saying that someone was trying to break into his apartment. But it wasn't a burglar, it was the Toronto police. What followed next would tragically end with Taresh's death. For years, Taresh struggled with mental illness. His family says he was having an episode when someone outside the family called the police that day. When police arrived, the family says they broke down the door and ordered Taresh's brother to leave the apartment.
We begged them for 6 hours to speak to our son during the interaction they were having with Bobby. They refused to let us see or speak to our son for 6 hours.
The family says they were locked in the apartment building office for 6 hours, unable to speak with or see Taresh. Then they learned he had fallen from the apartment window.
There is so many people in the building who heard the news that Taresh had passed except his family. We were the last people to find out our baby passed. Our last. Our baby had a future, and he would have been 33 next week.
From the family's perspective and many activists, they feel there is much more to the story compared to what the police are telling them.
So according to what the police told the SIU, the police are strongly suggesting that there were 6 people there. That is not what the family saw, and that is not what eyewitnesses in the neighborhood saw. They saw many, many more than that.
After he slipped from the window and fell to the floor, there was numerous witnesses that say all the officers were standing around prior to him falling. They told many civilians, please step back, this man is about to fall. But yet no fire truck was called, no blanket was put to catch him. We live on the highest floor of the building. There's people on the roof, there's people at the bottom of the building, but yet no one was on the 15th floor to catch our brother.
So what did Toronto police have to say about that day and what happened? In a public press release, Toronto police wrote this. At 4:36 p.m. that day, officers from 31 Division responded to multiple calls to 911 by members of the public who were reporting seeing furniture and other items, including an air conditioning unit, being thrown from a top floor apartment and landing near a reported daycare on the street level. Police attended and secured the area to ensure the safety of passersby and other residents of the building. The release goes on to say the male had already already barricaded himself inside a bedroom when the officers entered the apartment. Barricading automatically requires a higher level of response according to procedure, given the elevated risk of harm, and therefore this was not an incident where MCIT would be deployed to attend the scene. The release continues to say, at no time was there any confrontation, a standoff, or physical contact between the officers and the man. The statement goes on to say the on-site officers requested the emergency task force's assistance, who arrived with tactical paramedics at approximately 5:30 p.m. and began verbal negotiations with the man. Two of the ETF officers on site were certified crisis negotiators. A psychiatrist was called by police and was en route to the scene, but unfortunately was not able to arrive before the man, who had barricaded himself alone in a bedroom, fell from its balcony at 7:01 p.m. So how do we make sense of these two stories? Let's start with the surveillance footage. Taresh's family say there were up to 20 different officers, including SWAT team members, at the building that day. Now, the police have not officially said how many officers were present, but surveillance footage from the apartment building released by activists shows numerous law enforcement members in the building's lobby. And here's where advocates are outraged. Why was the emergency task force deployed if Taresh was in mental health distress? Well, Toronto police say the emergency task force is a multifaceted specialized unit that includes highly trained officers and specialists in negotiations, de-escalation, and effectively working with persons in crisis. All of our officers receive mental health training that is trauma-informed and are trained to prioritize a safe resolution, the safety of the individual, and to determine the options that are available for their care and how to de-escalate, according to the Toronto police. So now the investigations continue. A third-party watchdog, the SIU, is now investigating. The Special Investigations Unit has stepped in to look at all the video and audio recordings from the officers' body-worn camera footage and all other evidence. The Toronto police say they are cooperating, but big questions remain, like, should the emergency task force have been called if Taresh was in mental health distress? Are the police even equipped to handle mental health calls? And what does justice actually look like for this family who's mourning the loss of their son, who had hopes and dreams? We want to hear from you, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And thanks for watching.
Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel. And listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.